91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. And today, live in studio, we have Ms. Ariel O'Keefe, otherwise known as Girl Blue, and she'll be performing some songs for all you cool cats and lazy dogs. Would you like to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everybody.
So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I understand, actually, you have a concert coming up.
I do,
Quite
tomorrow
soon.
night, yeah.
And that's at the Vapor Nightclub?
Yeah, right here in Saratoga.
What time do you go on?
The doors open at 7. I'm going to go on at 8, and then One Red Martian at 8:30, just around, and then we have Colony House headlining.
All right, beautiful. All right, so what's the first track for tonight for all of our listeners out there?
I'm going to play, it's the second song on the EP I just released. It's called Because It Moves Me. This is a very stripped-down version of the song.
All right, this is Because It Moves Me by Girl Blue here on Recess with Spinelli, WSPN 91.1 FM.
Don't know what to do with these hands of mine. Looks like I got 20 fingers where they're shaking all the time. I am a child, I know that always, but I'm a daughter, and that I constantly forget. I've got a head that's like a bomb just threatening to detonate, and a heart that pumps as well as any other but still aches. I'm in love with an unforeseen version of a person I've already met, and I am humbled and afraid of all the things that I know that I don't know yet. They say work hard, they say play, they say work hard, they say play. But they think hard work is a montage from a movie, and I keep playing the same song because it moves me. Sometimes I feel the way I light the room, and as warm as any sun, but shines like only can the moon. Yeah, for all that I can be, I am more when I can see how bad he wants to be my fool. And I'm learning to get over feeling small. Yeah, most people when they meet me now, they treat me really tall. Yeah, for all that I may be, I am nothing so quickly when he don't call. And I am humbled and afraid to break a thing I have never touched at all. They say love hard, they say don't stay, they say love hard, but don't give it all away. But they think true love is a montage from a movie, and I keep sticking to this man 'cause he still moves me. I don't know if I missed the point by now, if the winds I kept at bay have finally blown my house right down. I put all my energy towards saving one thing, to watch everything else drown. But there's got to be a fire that burns above. Even with my shaking hands, I can still grasp that kind of love. It is safe and it is real. It's the kind that makes you feel forever young. And I am humbled and afraid that I won't know it when it finally shows up. They say work hard, they say pray, they say love hard, then right away. And maybe life is just a montage from a movie, but I keep repeating the same song long as it moves me. Ooh.
Live in studio, we have Girl Blue here on WSPN 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. This is Recess with Spinelli. The time is 9:15, and I'm your host, Alexander Calder Spinelli. Again, thank you so much for joining us today here in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
Now, that song in particular, is there anything you want to say about it?
Well, it was one of the first songs I wrote when I moved to Albany back in 2014, I think it was, 2013, 2014. And it started the way I just played it now. The first half was kind of the way I wrote it on the guitar and everything. And it had about like 7 pages of verses. And I had to cut it down to just 3. And then the second half with that kind of the bass line there was the way we reworked it when we recorded it for the EP. So that's kind of the version you'll hear on there. But yeah, it's about just trying to sit with something and not move on just because you can or you have other options, or sit with things because you have feelings for them. You have feeling for them or about them, whether it be music or people or life or whatever.
Now, you said moved back to Albany. Are you originally from the area?
No, when I moved, up to Albany or whatever. No, I grew up on Long Island, and then when I was 15, we moved to Dallas, Texas. And then when I was about 22, I moved to New York City, was there for a while, and then I moved to Albany. So you've definitely been all over the place. Yeah, a little bit.
Are there some differences in what each city has to offer as far as being a singer-songwriter or trying to make a debut record?
Definitely. What Albany offered was some quiet, and it was affordable, and I had like peace of mind to sort of figure out, I guess, what I wanted to say, and I had friends, so that was what it offered for me.
So you knew people here before you moved up?
I did.
Now, was that largely connections from New York City or people from Texas?
No, they were people from Dallas, actually.
Really?
They were friends I met in Dallas who had actually grown up in New York as well, and I moved back to the city, and they moved up to Albany, and then, that's kind of how that happened, yeah.
Now, taking a look at your YouTube page briefly, it looks like you've definitely been putting your own music videos of you playing out there for quite some time now, for a few years.
Yeah.
It looks like originally starting as a lot of covers.
Yeah. When I went to college for a bit, and I started putting out cover videos just from the practice rooms and stuff when I was younger, under just my first name. And those, I was doing that for quite a while. Mm-hmm. And then when I started Girl Blue, I think I took a break from all of that, and I sort of wanted some space, and I wanted to be able to create in a more focused and specific way, and get my own music out there in a way that it hadn't been before.
So what, I guess, did the Girl Blue moniker offer you that made you want to perform under that stage name?
It was creative freedom and space from my identity as Ariel or whatever. I think I had some traction with people getting to know me through the covers, and it was like a more acoustic thing, and my passion's always really been writing, so I really wanted to separate from whatever I had done in the past and have a clean slate, sort of.
So for writing, would you say you focus more on the lyrics or more on the instrumental?
I think both in equal measure. Mm-hmm. I really like songs that tell stories. I think that's sort of what songs are supposed to do. So I like to hear the story there, but that's involved with lyrics and music equally. I think they both help to tell that.
So storytelling, you would consider yourself a storyteller.
So I would hope so, yeah.
When you have music that is, maybe pop's not the right word, but is a little ineffective at telling a story or tells a really simple story, is your goal to more relate to the audience in a way, in a simple way, or do you like to tell like a very elaborate novel story?
Well, I think you can. I think an effective song can be simple or elaborate. I think there are pop songs that are very simple that really effectively tell a story, and that's honing your craft to sort of be able to say less and yet deliver more to your audience. And it depends on who's listening, and it depends on all of that. But I don't think it really matters how simple or how complex your physical telling is, or how many words you have in your song, or that sort of thing, or how much of the story you're telling. I think that has a lot to do with the song itself. And
So who would you say is one of the musical storytellers to which you look up to?
Joni Mitchell, for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah, Anita Franco I listen to a lot. But I like Paul Simon and Jackson Browne and Carole King and all those kind of 70s writers. Yeah, that sort of stuff.
Well, let's touch on Joni Mitchell a bit. So when you're listening to Joni Mitchell, what's going through your head during a sit down with a record that makes you say, you know what, she's effectively telling a story with which I can relate and I really enjoy this?
Yeah. What's going through my head?
Yeah.
How is she doing that? Mostly. Yeah, she's really cool, and I've been on a kick with her lately, especially because she wasn't necessarily a literate musician, so she would do all these different tunings, and she thought of herself as more of an artist. So when she would write songs, she would write them like she was painting. So I think the story comes out a little bit more purely in that way, because she's not thinking about what chord she's playing or theory or that sort of thing. She's just tuning it to something that sounds nice to her ear. It's a little more reactionary, creatively reactionary, and I think she's very intelligent, but hard on her sleeve in the way she writes. She writes like she's writing in her journal, or she's speaking directly to a friend, or that sort of thing. So yeah, that sort of thing.
Would you consider your writing style more of that impromptu painting style, or more of a schooled writer?
Well, I hope to get to a place where it's constantly just like freshly reactionary. But you have to spend a lot of time learning and schooling in your own way to get to a point where it is where you're being impromptu and fresh, and it's good. You know,
once like muscle memory
like
kicks
you can
in.
do that. Well, yeah, you have to know sort of what tradition you're carrying on. You have to be studied on like your influences and your instruments and what kind of writing you like and all that. So I hope to have a blend as I get older. You know. Now,
did you go to school for music specifically, or?
I went for a year to college. I went for composition, for music composition. But I never really wanted to go to college. No. So I just wanted to write my songs and play them. So
then you ultimately left college and you pursued this as a part-time career, full-time career, or?
Yeah. No, I mean, I was definitely, I've always had to work jobs, so it was never like a full-time career, but I've been pursuing it, definitely.
Ultimate goal.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
All right. Let's get into a little bit more of your history in a bit, but this next song we have coming up, what can you tell us about it?
Yeah, the next one is a super stripped down version of Fire Underwater. This is the single that we released for the EP. So.
This is the one that's the music video, right?
Yeah, it does.
We'll touch on that after.
Awesome.
This is Recess with Spinelli here on WSPN 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. We have Girl Blue live in studio, and the time is 9:23 p.m. Whenever you're ready.
Yes, I remember how I met you, but we will not talk about it. Reminiscing's what we left behind to get where we are now. To get where we are now. Yet sometimes it feels like we are still those young and stunning strangers. You threw a shadow in my spotlight. I had a song called Danger. I had a song called Danger, but now I'm swimming in nothing. Only blues are on my side. I got nothing to hope for, honey. I got nothing to hide. Now I'm swimming in nothing. Only blues are on my mind. And that ocean's endless deep, and that ocean's endless wide. But every time you look in my eyes, it's like fire underwater, fire underwater. Every time you look in my eyes, it's like fire underwater, fire underwater. I go down, 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 but I come up burning every time. wish I remember how I met you, the serendipities and details. It's these kinds of moments that give me a reason to believe. Give me a reason to believe. Now every ship that I had captained had been lost to stormy weather, till you came along, and I thought we just might get home together. I thought we might get home together, but now I'm swimming in nothing. Only blues are on my side. I got nothing to hope for, honey. I got nothing to hide. Now I'm swimming in nothing. Only blues are on my mind. And that ocean's endless deep, and that ocean's endless wide. But every time you look in my eyes, it's like fire underwater, fire underwater. Every time you look in my eyes, it's like fire underwater, fire underwater. I go down, 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 down. I go down, 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 deep down. I go down, 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 down. Still come up burning every time.
Fire Underwater by Girl Blue here live in studio on WSPN 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. Shout out to Jay, Nick, Lorenzo, Greg, Gabe, Bill, and Manuel Flores, all for tuning in. It's great to know that you're enjoying the set and you think it sounds great. Again, thanks so much for joining us in studio. Is there anything you want to communicate to our listeners with Fire Underwater?
For Fire Underwater, yeah, so what can I say about that?
Anything about the writing process, the music video?
Yeah, the writing process was really quick for that one. I remember I was standing in my kitchen and started to come to me some sort of image, and I wrote it in probably like 10 or 15 minutes. And it was a song that was like, when we went to record it, it was like totally stripped to its bare bones and rebuilt. So the record that you hear is like really different. The production is really different from the way it was originally written, but I think it's really cool. And I want to give a shout out to the producer of that, it's Jimmy Whittle. Really good job there. And the music video we also just shot. It was me and Jimmy and our friend Ben was the ghost in the music video, and we just basically got up at 4 a.m. and he dressed up like a ghost and followed me around Albany. So that was basically it for that. But yeah, it's a song about having held out hope for something for a really long time, and then recognizing that you kind of need to let that go, and not being able to for really intangible reasons, really irrational reasons, like understanding that the thing is done, but some part of you that you're trying to justify is holding on. So
now,
it's a sad one.
As we learned with the interview we aired earlier today with Postmodern Jukebox, that YouTube does have an effect on the audience that a musician can get. Making your own music video, what were some of your experiences in how you can, in a different way, tell a story through video as opposed to just through the audio medium?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I think the ultimate like artistic expression is to be able to combine the audio and the visual. I think that's really cool, and you get a unique opportunity to tell your own more specific version of the story with a music video, especially when you're choosing to do it by yourself. So I think it's important. I think it's like a delicate balance between taking it seriously and not taking it too seriously. But it's interesting nowadays to do it, because you're sort of, I guess, competing with video has advanced so much with what you can do with even airbrushing and all the different effects you can put on a video. So the stuff you're competing with is like immaculate. You know, with cameras are so great, and editing software is so immense that you have a lot. It's sort of intimidating to take on, but.
Now, did you do the editing on that video as well, or did you pass that off?
We edited it. Jimmy and I edited it, and Ben did color correction on it, and then we put it out.
Yeah, color correction is one of those things that can definitely take some time.
Yes,
and
definitely.
Strain your eyeballs.
Definitely.
From my experience, anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, let's quickly dive into your new debut album, which is I Am Not a Star. Is this available for the public at the moment?
Yes, it definitely is. It's on Spotify, and it's available on iTunes for purchase. It's like, I think it's like $6 on iTunes, so it's not that.
It's a respectable
not that
price.
Much. Yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, you can definitely, please do pick it up there.
And when did this album come out?
October 5th of this year.
Okay.
So it just did a couple months ago.
So going back into more of the storytelling realm, how can each song is obviously a story. So when you put an album together, do you view it more as a mixtape, or do you view it more as a cohesive story arc through the whole album? The easiest thing that comes to mind is when you listen to old 70s records. A lot of them have a common theme going through.
Yeah,
I feel like a lot of modern musicians write more of mixtape style today.
Yeah, you get a lot more mixtape now because it's like a strung together list of singles, of potential singles, I think. But I'm really big into the cohesive. Each album or EP or whatever is its own body of work. It's its own piece of art as a thing. So I took a lot of care in the listing of the songs and making sure that they flow together and that they are each individual stories, but they definitely tell their own. And if you do listen to it from front to back, I think you'll get that, and I hope you get that. There's definitely a character going through a thing from start to finish. And for me, this one was just super autobiographical. It was something I had to get off my chest, sort of. But yeah, but definitely cohesive, I would say.
Did you ever stop for a moment and say, am I expressing too much of my inner self here and exposing it to everybody?
Yeah, I know. We had a couple of vocal takes where I expressed a little bit too much, and they were like, yeah, no, you're not going to want that later. We should retract that. That's a little too yelly. But I mean, you kind of have to, I think. And you have to be fearless, and you have to give too much of yourself. And even though I'll listen back to those songs, I'm proud of them. It was a way for me to release that time. I don't really feel like that person anymore, because we started tracking when I was 24 and I'm about to turn 26. So that, because we did it all by ourselves, and we were working jobs, and almost, I hate to say it like that because it didn't feel that long, but things just take a while. But we started the tracking April of 2015. So I'm not that person anymore, but I sort of had to I feel like I gave it to that EP, and now I can move on.
So the question is, did the album just track your own personal growth, or did the album change you? Exactly. It's kind of like one of those, did life inspire art, or art inspire life type thing. Exactly. And probably both. It's got to be some way. All right. Let's get into our next track here. Sure. What's the name of it? This is a brand new song. I haven't really played it out, but it's called Same Way, I think. I think that's what it's called. You think? Yeah. All right. This is the potentially named song, Same Way, here on Recess with Spinelli. This is by Girl Blue, live in studio, 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. The time is 9:34 p.m. If you miss any portion of tonight's broadcast, you can tune in again on your time, mixcloud.com/recess with Spinelli. We are currently Facebook live streaming this, as well as recording on video. It will be up on YouTube, Longbow Media. And you can also check it out next Wednesday in Hoxton FM out of London, England, hoxton.fm, and that would be at roughly 7 p.m. Eastern Time, if you want to listen then. All right, we're ready whenever you want to take it away. Great. I could drink your wine if I wanted. I could keep you up all night.
I could let the stars into my eyes. They could tell your story so bright. But I will never come when you call me. I will never answer to that name, 'cause it's getting too late now, honey. And you know if we went there, we couldn't come back the same way. And so now you tell me you're done with that. You need me 'cause I'm abstract. Well, I got something like the same for you. I'm just slower now to react. But if you saw me in my blacks and my whites, like long dark hair in the moonlight, if you found me in my cage now, honey, in the space behind the stage, would you still feel the same way? Well, I got nothing but love for you, honey. I keep myself hidden away. I want nothing but the best for us, honey. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Now I've known it since I was young. We only go around just once. So if it seems like I'm resisting your love, I'm just trying not to mess it up. 'Cause I just wanna get better at this guitar, and I'm just trying to get out of these dive bars. 'Cause I came here with a song to play, and if I have any say, I'm going out the same way. Well, I got nothing but love for you, honey. I keep myself hidden away. I want nothing but the best for us, honey. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I've seen the devil's dose smudge on a white wall, floodlight down a dark hall. Yeah, but now I see myself in my love's eyes, slow honey hummingbird highs. And I still got 4 or 5 men I could mess with, still got a couple old myths to get dressed for. But I don't, 'cause every time I see his face, I'm reminded of that first day, and God, I still feel the same way. I still feel the same way. Still feel the same way.
Live in studio, Girl Blue, and I believe the title of that song was Same Way, right?
Yeah, I think I said it enough, right?
Yep. And when you shout out to Chantal, Alan, Adam, Brandon, and Mukesh, all for tuning in. As usual, it's great to know folks are listening. So, yeah, let's go back into a little bit more of your history. Do you remember that first moment when either I assume when you're probably listening to music, when you said, you know what, this is something I want to try my hand at?
Yeah, I was really, really, really young when I was like one of those singing babies. I was one of those like the 2-year-olds who with the mic and all that. So I don't have a moment where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And I was like writing songs, like silly songs at like a really young age, like 5 years old kind of thing. So I've always really liked to do it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something I've always kind of known about myself, and I've been really diehard for it for my whole life. So, yeah, I mean, I guess throughout my life, I've had like little moments of validation of that, sort of like, yes, this is definitely what I want to do. But I have a really obsessive personality, so it's just kind of always doing that.
Have any of those 5-year-old songs survived?
No, definitely
No?
not. Definitely not.
Well, when you first started writing, what were some of the topics you touched on?
I had one song that I found in this notebook what was it called? Oh, it was something like, the song was called Stuck With Him. And it was, the first line was like, I've been sitting in this very room for years. I was 5 years old, but I think that I shared a room with my younger brother. I think that's what it had to have been about, because I've always been sort of like a old crotchety old woman, I guess. But yeah, that was one of the first ones. And then I had something about like a earth and stone or something, and two knights walking. There was like fantastical little things, and I don't know.
So when would you say your music writing, your production playing started to become something that was worth the time and effort then? When you started saying, I'm going to put more time into this because I'm getting an emotional return that's positive.
Totally. Well, I played piano since I was 6, and I took lessons, and I played like classically and all of that. So, but I hated that. So I had that background. I was always playing. And I was always begging my mom to let me stop lessons. And so she finally did when I was in like 8th grade. And I remember I didn't play for like a month. And then I went back one day on my own. And that was really when I fell in love with the piano, was when I didn't have anybody telling me what I had to be practicing. And that was when I really heavily started writing on the piano. And then with the guitar, my dad had like an old nylon stringed thing and a chord pamphlet, and when I was like 11, I think I picked that up, and that was really when songwriting got big for me. Was I immediately I didn't learn the guitar to try to be a guitar player. I learned it because I could write songs through that. And I think like the first day I was writing songs, and it was one summer, and every day that summer I wrote a song, and it was that was a big turning point when I think I was like 11 or 12.
So then when you started doing cover songs and posting those on like YouTube and stuff, how did those teach you how to craft a song?
Cool. I guess I probably didn't think about it at the time. I think that probably did teach me, because I was always because I wrote from a young age, I had that really stupid mindset of like isolation and like, oh, what I'm writing is, I don't want to infect what I'm writing with other people's music, which is the opposite of what you should be doing. But I probably doing those covers helped, and obviously listening to other things should inform the songwriting process. I've always listened to a ton of music, so I guess it gets in there. But it'll teach you about different genres and how to write different forms for whatever you want, so you can have more freedom to bend genres and all of that. Sort of thing.
Actually, let's quickly touch upon that last concept you said, which is trying not to listen to other music because you don't want it to influence yours.
That's really immature to me. But
because I have actually spoken to a few bands which have taken that approach for the music because they wanted to be so genuine. So in your mind...
Well, so I guess I can clarify by saying, like, yeah, you can do that, but it has to come, I think at least. I mean, I'm only speaking for myself because other people can do lots of things I can't. But I think if you're going to attempt isolation, it can be in a period after you've spent a lifetime studying music, because I believe that less in reinventing the wheel and more in carrying on a tradition of songwriting. So you need to know what you're carrying on, and sort of be aware. I equate the isolation thing with me being like a young kid who, that sort of thing. But I definitely recognize, I know I've seen like St. Vincent has done it, like gone off and shut yourself off from everything for a while to record. Like that's different from making a choice to not listen to other people's music because you want to be, you don't want it to like infect your thing. I think you need to be studied enough first. But that's just me.
So you need the experience first before you can
quit. That's what makes sense to me. That's what makes sense to me. I'm sure people would argue that point, but at least for me. Yeah.
Now, being a musician and making your own work, it does kind of act as your own business in a way.
Yeah.
So do you ever find at some point you do have to pull back from music for a week or two and kind of take your own personal vacation and tell yourself not to write or not to listen to music just to kind of cleanse everything?
Half of that I can relate to. I don't really ever stop listening to music or playing it. I like doing that, but I definitely relate to it becoming work, and I go through a lot of ups and downs of it feeling like there's periods where I'll avoid it because it has become work or it has become business. and that's really frustrating. But lately I've been in a period of coming back to music, so that's really nice, where you separate from the, like, I have to do this, or I have to be this good, or I have to whatever, and you just come back to it for the enjoyment of it, which is the point. But yeah, it definitely becomes a business, and you end up doing a lot more non-music things to support the music, which sucks. You end up having to do a lot of like emailing and computer stuff.
What would you say is the most boring business aspect of being a musician?
Well, right now for me, because I'm doing all of it for myself, it's like all of the communication and I'm not good at that. I'm not like, I don't have a super organized brain in that way. Getting back to people and like keeping up with emails and all of that is, and all the like social media stuff, like Twitter and like all of that. It's just not naturally who I am. Like, I get it and I think it's cool, but I have a hard time with it. So that's probably the hardest part for me. I won't say boring, but
well, what
it becomes monotonous.
What are the little things, the small things that when you're getting to those moments and you're saying, gosh, it's starting to get really boring, that remind you why you are going through the boring parts to get to the exciting parts?
Well, I think when you're doing it, I don't know if you're thinking about that, but I mean, you do it because you have to. You do it because, like, I don't have any other option. Like, I don't hate to say that like that, but I want to support myself doing this. I very, very badly want to play my songs and record more and get in front of audiences and do all that. So it totally outweighs having to do all the extra stuff. And I know that hopefully I won't always have to do it all for myself. So there's a certain like level of pride in like being able to do it for yourself too. So I think that makes it a little bit easier.
Yep. Now, as far as playing in front of people, again, we mentioned it earlier, but you will be playing locally at the Vapor Nightclub tomorrow, and I believe that's with Colony House and One Red Martian.
Yeah, yes.
And
definitely.
you guys have a connection, though, right?
Yeah. So Jimmy Whittle, who produced my record, is the lead singer and guitarist of One Red Martian, and their keyboardist Dan DeKalb also engineered and co-produced all that stuff on my record. So yeah, we were friends back in Texas, and. Yes. Very
cool. And what time do you guys go on stage tomorrow night?
I go on at 8, and One Red Martian goes on around 8:30ish, I think, and then Colony House will follow that.
Okay. And this is a free set, right?
Yeah, it's a free show.
Because it's sponsored by EQX, I think, right?
But I'm sorry.
It's sponsored by EQX, I think.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay.
It's an EQX show.
All right, so it's a free 21 over show. Yeah. You go on at 8 p.m. So that's when folks should start showing up, right?
And it's with a full band, so it's going to be rocking.
Be pretty energetic.
Oh yeah, it's much more of a rock show. There's a lot more. The musicians I play with are like so much better than I am. I wonder why they play with me, but they're really something to come see. So you should definitely come out.
Cool. And I understand we also have another show coming up, right?
Yeah. So after that, I'll be in Albany on Saturday night. This Saturday at the Savoy Tap Room. I'll be doing like an intimate, like more like this style show of what I'm doing here tonight. And that'll be me and Jimmy. Or doing just a duo thing, so we'll play our own songs and that kind of thing.
Excellent. So we got two opportunities to see Girl Blue live. Yes. In the meantime, though, for our final song, your thoughts.
I'm gonna do the last song on the album. It's called "Call Me Home." It was the last song I wrote in New York City when I was just about to not be living in New York City anymore. It was the last song I wrote.
All right. This is Call Me Home by Girl Blue, live in studio here on WSPN 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. Time is 9:49 p.m. Let's get back to the music.
Great. Morning after nauseous half disasters, the calm is not so quiet in my head. It says you drink too much, you're not in love with anyone. You'll never say the things you never said. Oh, it all seems really simple in a picture. Somebody you don't know always works hard. and you're always just nursing some hangover, guilt tripping over homeless works of art. I've been lost, 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 brother. I've been blinded by the sun and the Father. I got more, more, more than I can shoulder, but I'll be fine when I find my way home. Hey. Morning after nauseous half disaster, and I swear I'll get my act together soon, 'cause this is not at all what I imagined, oh, when I thought of all the things that I might do. Oh, it all seems really simple when you're little. Naivety is such a fuzzy friend. Now I'm not saying I'm wrecked, I am ruined. No, I just mistook the beginning for the end. And I got lost, 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 brother. I got blinded by the sun and the Father. I got more, more, more than I can shoulder, but I'll be fine when I find my way home. Look, sometimes love is the reflection of a building in the water on a night when everybody stays at home. And sometimes love's a puddled puzzle piece, obsolete and soggy, that becomes a whole new picture on its own. So we can bitch about how fast the world is spinning, or we can use the orbit for a whole new view. See, I know love will be the answer to my wandering. Maybe I got lost so I could find you. I think I got lost so I could find you. So when you're lost, 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 brother, when you fly too close to the sun and the Father, when the world is more than you can shoulder, you come and find me, you can call me home. Come and find me, you can call me home. Come and find me and call me home.
Call Me Home by Girl Blue, live in studio here on WSPN 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. Shout-outs to Hannah, Mark, Tim, Lou, and Carl, all for tuning in. Again,
You're awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us today in the studio.
Thank you for having me.
In case anybody missed what we said earlier, you can catch Girl Blue live at the Vapor Nightclub at the Saratoga Casino here in Saratoga Springs. That'll be tomorrow at 8 p.m.
Yes.
She'll be taking the stage.
Yes.
And before we head off for this evening, any final thoughts for our listeners and your fans?
Thank you so much for listening if you are. I'm just beginning here. I'm hoping to record another album, so please stay tuned. And we'll be booking more shows in the area.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure to have had you with us.
Thank you.
Again, this is WSPN 91.1 FM, Skidmore College Radio. I'm your host, Alexander Calder Spinelli. If you missed any portion of the broadcast, you can tune in again on your time. That's mixcloud.com/recess with Spinelli. You can check this out on video on YouTube, and that will be out on Longbow Media. And you can also listen again on your time on Hoxton FM out of London, England, hoxton.fm next Wednesday around 7 p.m. So keep an eye out for those. We're going to be signing off with Nickel Creek Christmas Eve, and then Simon Spine will be coming on for all you cool cats until midnight. In the meantime, I shall catch you all same time, same place next Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Catch you later, cool cats.